But if anyone says that the writings of Moses and of the rest of the prophets were also written in the Greek character, let him read profane histories and know that Ptolemy, king of Egypt, when he had built the library in Alexandria, and by gathering books from every quarter had filled it, then learned that very ancient histories written in Hebrew happened to be carefully preserved. And wishing to know their contents, he sent for 70 wise men from Jerusalem, who were acquainted with both the Greek and Hebrew language, and appointed them to translate the books, and that in freedom from all disturbance they might the more speedily complete the translation. He ordered that there should be constructed, not in the city itself, but 7 stadia off, where the Pharaoh's was built, as many little cots as there were translators, so that each by himself might complete his own translation, and enjoined upon those officers who were appointed to this duty to afford them all attendance, but to prevent communication with one another, in order that the accuracy of the translation might be discernible even by their agreement. And when he ascertained that the 70 men had not only given the same meaning, but had employed the same words, and had failed in agreement with one another, not even to the extent of one word, but had written the same things, and concerning the same things, he was struck with amazement, and believed that the translation had been written by divine power, and perceived that the men were worthy of all honor, as beloved of God, and with many gifts ordered them to return to their own country. And having, as was natural, marveled at the books and concluded them to be divine, he consecrated them in that library. These things, you men of Greece, are no fable, nor do we narrate fictions. But we ourselves, having been in Alexandria, saw the remains of the little cots at the Pharaoh's still preserved, and having heard these things from the inhabitants who had received them as part of their country's tradition, we now tell to you what you can also learn from others, and specially from those wise and esteemed men who have written of these things, Philo and Josephus, and many others. But if any of those who are wont to be forward in contradiction should say that these books do not belong to us, but to the Jews, and should assert that we in vain profess to have learned our religion from them, let him know, as he may from those very things which are written in these books, that not to them but to us does the doctrine of them refer. That the books relating to our religion are to this day preserved among the Jews has been a work of divine providence on our behalf. For lest, by producing them out of the church, we should give occasion to those who wish to slander us to charge us with fraud, we demand that they be produced from the synagogue of the Jews, that from the very book still preserved among them it might clearly and evidently appear that the laws, which were written by holy men for instruction, pertain to us.